Turn around 3 times and bark. Tonight we find love with the Wolf Girl and the Black Prince.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's Otaku Movie Anatomy.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Otaku Movie Anatomy.
This Friday.
Ooh.
Oh shit.
What was
Yeah.
that? That was intense.
That was intensifying.
That's definitely not what
That
we're...
was the trailer for Ouija.
Yeah, it was. Man, the Ouija looks scary.
Here we go. Hey everyone, welcome back to Otaku Movie Anatomy. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and comment on iTunes. Hit that thumbs up on YouTube and follow us on Twitter at The Popcorn Talk. I am your host, Yumin Ninja. You can find me everywhere on social media at Yumin Ninja, and I'm joined by our regular hosts, Max and Michelle.
Woo!
Hello.
What's up? This music is very cute.
Yeah, I like it.
This is the
Is it anime?
Yeah, this is the theme song from the anime.
I find
Oh,
the
there's
movie,
an anime of this,
the
too.
movie versions of it are not of the songs are never as good. They're always like some weird instrumental.
I mean,
bullshit.
they had like all English songs like in the movie.
They did.
There
They
was,
were
like,
trying
two,
real hard
yeah.
to be like
They wanted-
Twilight-esque or something. I
Yeah, they
guess.
wanted it to be like kind of like an American rom-com.
Yeah.
Well, not even really rom. It's like it's supposed to be like a teenage
like a she's all
dramedy.
that moment.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
it's still like to me, it was just like, man, there's still something very inherently wrong about all of this.
Oh my god, this show.
All right.
Let's get
This
into
movie.
it.
Let's get into it. Tonight's film is one that kind of rings true for all of the tropes about comedic high school shoujo manga love.
None of that was funny.
And for those who are unacquainted with The Wolf Girl and the Black Prince, or Okami Shojo to Kuro Oji, here is the trailer.
Trailer. That's right. Trailer.
It's trailer.
Look at the trailer. It's coming.
Ooh, it's so quick and fast
Yes.
and studious.
Oh, yeah.
The trailer makes it seem a lot funnier than it actually was.
Yeah, no.
There was none of this writing on the.
Yeah.
Usually they do that in these kinds of movies.
じゃあ3回回ってお手からワンだな
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a totally normal thing in Japan, apparently.
Just making people your human slaves.
Human slaves. And everyone's like,
Human
okay, that's
slaves.
fine. It's quirky. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
This movie, just quick synopsis, the main character, Erika Shinohara, desperately wants to fit in, so she lies to her group of friends about having a boyfriend.
Who kind of suck.
Yeah, that part
Yeah, I
sucked.
mean, her friends are bitches. Like,
Yeah, her friends are not great
Well,
people. Like, why
yeah.
even?
yeah, like why? Also, why find the one group of just like the worst fucking people?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
be like, I
there's
don't
so
want to
many
be alone.
normal people around
I think
you.
like it. I mean, I think it's kind of they explain it more in the anime, but basically, Erika, in order to make this lie seem more realistic, she finds a random hot guy on the street, and
Which was the worst part of the movie.
I know. And there's so many things that are
Quote,
wrong.
unquote.
From the
Hot.
corner of her eye, she spies a hot guy. So she says, "Oh, she leaves her friend in the cafe. She's like, fuck you. I have to follow this random hot guy who I don't know. He could kill me." Follows them on down the street, giggling, and I'm like, it's the most messed up shit. Like it's so creepy. And they're playing this very fanciful music. Like,
I mean,
this
I
is
know.
very cute.
Okay,
It's
so
not.
this is the weird thing. I know
Don't
it's
follow
a
people.
trope. I know
Yes.
that that's like a part of the culture of anime and manga, but seeing it in real life, it's
Yeah.
like
It's hard.
totally different.
It's different.
almost cringeworthy.
It's very creepy. I was writing notes, which I did not bring today, that were just like, why are they playing like whimsical music? This is the creepiest
It's
shit.
creepy.
Like, no,
Yeah.
please don't ever follow someone like that ever. They could kill you. I would kill you if you were following me.
Yeah.
Like, just something bad would happen.
So back to synopsis.
Back to synopsis.
So basically, she takes a picture of this hot guy who
Yes.
just apparently is the prince of her high school, and
Also
so.
hate that.
Wait, how could she never heard of
hate
him?
that
So
trope.
you keep interrupting you, but how?
It's terrible. Like the plot is very, very
So
weak.
secret prince of her high school.
So she takes this picture of him, and because her friends figure out that it's the prince of the high school, she basically asks Kyouya, the guy, to pretend to be her fake boyfriend, and he agrees on the condition that she pretends to be his pet dog. This is the synopsis.
So this is definitely a step forward for all women out there. You know, it's finally you're out of
Yes.
the kitchen and promoted to lovable pet. This movie is terrible.
Of course, wait, let us know your thoughts if you're in chat. We are monitoring chat. We can talk to you or talk about you. Just depending what you
Yes.
say.
Yeah, absolutely. We would love to hear all of your thoughts about this movie
Yeah.
that probably no one has seen.
Well, the anime and the manga are really popular, right?
They were super popular. Just some background information. The manga / anime came out in October. Well, the manga came out in October of 2011, and it just ended this year. It was so
Long.
popular.
It's a long run.
Yeah, it's a long run. The anime was out in winter of 2014, October to December, or fall season.
Yeah, it felt like so long ago.
And it was generally it's really popular. I think the live action does not portray the comedic aspect of
I think it
this
just needed
very
to be.
I don't-
It
I
needed to be
didn't-
directed differently.
You
Yeah.
could not tell me that was a comedy. I didn't know
Yeah.
that there was even funny parts to it. There was nothing.
It was like emotional abuse.
Yeah,
is
it
what-
was literally the most somber story of like love that I've ever seen. Like
It was pretty bad.
it's
The funny thing is that it came out anime wise the same exact season as Ore no Monogatari.
Oh, so
wow,
my
so
love story.
much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That must be
these-
why I didn't watch
that
it,
was
because I was
an
like, who
actual
gives a
comedy.
shit?
Yeah, these
Yeah.
two were like contending for like shoujo top screen,
Right,
and they're
right.
both on Crunchyroll too, which I watched both. And personally, I watched the anime, and it was a lot funnier.
Yeah, because it's
A
animated,
lot
and like
funnier.
Max said, it's when certain disgusting human behaviors are portrayed in animation, it's like less jarring, I
Yeah.
guess.
Also, I just felt very much like, yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe do they do any of like the physical stuff in anime? Because it just in real life, it just seems like way more brutal. It just
Yeah,
feels very
I think
much
it's
like
something that to
like
be
you're
to be very
invading.
honest, I think even if they had done a good job, like if they had done all the writing and made it seem more like a manga and been more jovial about it, I think it may have worked. But it was pretty hard. I mean, when you think of it even in context of the manga, it's pretty brutal. Like
Yeah.
he's kind of a dick to her, and she kind of just goes along with it. Like
And like accepts it and over states like, I don't have any pride. Like he's all I have in the
Yeah.
whole world. I'm like, damn girl, you need a
man,
hobby.
it's pathetic
Yeah.
You
as
need like
hell,
one hobby.
yo.
Real quick in chat, Laura Marklin, what's up?
what's up,
She-
Lauren?
Good.
She said, "Oh Jesus Christ, be my fake boyfriend, be my dog, KK."
I think it's important to note that this is not a unique thing in shoujo manga. Like the whole like treat me badly and I will love you regardless.
Yeah.
It's
It's a trope.
it's a trope.
I
That's
mean, it's a trope,
ongoing.
but even in like K-dramas, it's sort of like it's not like a weird trope. It's a very like old trope that you've seen it a ton of times in like American movies. Anything that has to do with love, there's always an element of like, ooh, he's a bad boy because he's a real asshole to
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's kind of a difference between this and that. You know, like I feel
So
like you can do it comedically, or
Yeah.
you can do it like you can do it in a way where it, like I think K-dramas is a good example. they don't necessarily like show physical stuff like I guess as violently as like this movie kind of did. I don't know, like there's something about like usually it's very slow. Like even if it's like a little gentle tap, it's always like a little gentle tap or something. Or like if you're just like pulling on your face or something, it's always like they frame it in a way where it doesn't seem super violent. And I don't know if that's just like pure laziness on just the director's part or whatever. They're just like, let's get the scene done or whatever. But it was just like there was a lot of parts like that where it was just like, ooh man, this makes me feel real uncomfortable really quickly.
I think another thing this movie did is, they took the whole movie to get together.
Yes.
So in the anime, I believe they kind of don't they get together like halfway through, and then they have more problems after that.
Yes.
So he has more time. The main Kyouya has more time to kind of redeem himself, to be like, I was the bad boy and I had no feelings and I think relationships were stupid, but you softened my icy heart and now I'm in love with you, and then they give him time to like do nice things and like redeem himself. But in this movie, he had no time to do any of that. So he didn't get any really good parts except for finding her and buying her a fucking necklace. Like the only really nice things he did for her.
I think the problem with this, just having read everything, is that instead of like in the manga and the anime, they frame it as like he's just not very good at expressing his like towards her, and he's never really dependent on anybody. So the relationship like of them growing as two people who depend on each other is more drawn out in the anime and manga. This movie, it's true. Like, he kind of got the short end of the stick, and he just kind of seems like a fucking jerk.
Yeah.
I know we're painting a real nice picture
Yeah,
of this movie.
There's
but...
like no times in which it just seems like he's very fickle. Like, oh, he felt bad because he was a big asshole, and so now they're together because she was just persistent, which totally like.
That's also a trope.
Yeah,
If
sure.
someone doesn't love you, just follow them around until they do, which is problematic. But you know, it exists.
Yeah, it's very problematic. Real quick though, just the casting of this. It was actually there. You know, the sad part is like both of these two actors are pretty like well known and like they're very good. So Fumi
And now they have no work because of this movie.
No, not true.
Fumi
Actually,
Nikaido, she actually got an award at the 68th Cannes International Film Festival. Yes, for a movie called Himizu, which was like a slow burn about high school and coming to terms with abuse and stuff like that, like parental abuse.
And then they came
then
to
she
this,
did
and
to
it's
this.
just like for its parent, and then its boyfriends, and then it's probably gonna be animal.
The guy, this is the kicker for me. The guy Kento Yamazaki, he is known for playing L in the 2015 Death Note. He's also going to be playing Josuke in the
Diamond is
JoJo's
Unbreakable.
Bizarre Adventure live action.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going to be playing Josuke.
This guy.
This guy?
This
Yeah.
guy is in so many like manga adaptations. He's in Death Note. He's in like this. He was also in Orange, LDK, Your Lie in April, 1 Week Friends.
Oh
Wait,
yeah.
he was in Your Lie in April?
Yes.
There's
Yeah.
a live action of Your Lie in April?
Yeah, it's supposed to be really
man.
good.
Yeah, and then 1
Um,
Week Friends is coming out next year along
shit.
with JoJo. And he's in just these.
Man.
Wait, why
list.
is he Joe? Okay,
He's
so
Josuke, he's not-
of all of them, I totally get it. But why is he Josuke? Like that's like because
It's not a character. Yeah, it's not a character he's played in these other ones.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's also like Josuke is like a pretty big dude.
Yeah.
This guy's like 5'7" nothing. You know, he just
We'll put him on hot. Everyone else will be short in the movie too. Don't worry about it. It'll look tall.
It's weird. Like when I
What
was
a weird
looking through his
casting.
I was looking through his credits and I'm like, this guy's doing nothing but anime adaptations.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he was born into a anime adaptation family.
yeah, and they're just trying to
And the
Yeah.
the prestige of that family name they have to
prestige.
continue.
And the female lead is like she's gotten like 3 movies under her belt, and she's gotten like just accolades and nominations.
That's crazy.
for
In this movie,
this.
she was. I remember being like,
terrible.
is she even?
not
I was like, she's
good.
someone's daughter or something. She's so bad at acting
Yeah,
with
she's-
feelings and saying lines.
I
which
mean,
is
to
what
be
you have
fair,
do.
like, I don't know how if I were an actor of any sort, and your prompt is like, oh, you're being abused by this dude, basically. And you're supposed to really like him for no real particular reason.
Yeah, that's what
And, you know, like, when someone asks you to explain why you like him, you have to just give some arbitrary fucking reason.
he was kind of nice
Yeah.
one time.
I know that you were in Canes. I know that you're a serious actor, but could you just like dumb down your personality like just to the T?
and like
Yeah.
the other movie that she's in, Himizu, like it's got a 93% rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
Holy shit!
Wow.
It's amazing. Her and the lead in that movie, they both won awards for the best
Hot
young
damn.
upcoming actor and actress. And so I'm like, she went from that to this. So I was very curious about finding the other one because I'm like, she's shitty in this movie.
Yeah.
I think to be fair, it's probably the director's fault. You start to see like why this movie has failed, and I feel like it's 900% the director.
choices, yeah.
It's just the way that he paced everything, the way that he frames a lot of stuff. Just like he throws away so much just random good story plots that you could have actually like made the main dude like an interesting character, but instead he focuses on like all the wrong things. He focuses on that fucking dude that like, you know, that other dude that looks exactly like the main character but taller.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Glasses,
No, not the glasses guy. The other
blonde. He's like reddish hair.
yeah.
Kamiyakun.
Yeah,
Sure,
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the hell his name is.
See, and like even that, like it's you know, like when we did Oren Monogatari, like you could see shot for shot what was being referenced from the anime and the manga and why it worked and was so comedic. In this one, there's almost none of that. Like even the shots when she turns around and barks at him, like it's kind of like a pretty funny scene that she does, you know, because like in the manga, he kind of like, okay, and she's like, huh, and then she has kind of like the internal monologue that they do in anime where she's like, oh, well, I could either like face rejection or do this. So she's like, okay, I'm gonna turn around and bark, like very enthusiastically. And in this one, she just kind of like does it, and you're like, okay.
And it's very like half-hearted. And I really
Yeah.
honestly
Yeah.
thought they were gonna do some sort of cute animation to make that less cringy. Because to see a human being bark at another person is very like off-putting. Like that's how we work.
I was just like, I saw this and I was like,
oh
no,
yeah, I was like, oh damn,
I do not like this.
Are we only 10 minutes
like
into this movie?
Yeah,
bad.
you're right. It's like the first 10 minutes, and then it just like it still just spirals.
This
down.
movie had like 3 arcs. I was like, way too many arcs. You needed one.
If I knew nothing about Japan, and this is the only reference I had, I would be like, all Japanese girls are super codependent and also have no will of their own, and for some reason, everyone likes like 2 dudes in the whole school.
It's true.
The whole world.
Like, since we're on the topic, let's go into tropes. I know this is something that like Michelle and I have done in real life just because we thought it was funny, but there's this trope of like girls looking at these hot guys and being like, is he a model? Who is this good-looking guy?
Wow, he looks like a celebrity.
Yeah.
Wow, is that person his girlfriend? I don't know. She doesn't look pretty enough to be his girlfriend.
Yeah, she's like so plain. They're so mismatched. And then, like, if you think
so
about it, like,
cool.
why is this a trope? Like, in real life, have you ever had this happen?
Yeah, I mean, in manga writing, they describe it as the mob character. So a mob character. So like, there's an anime called Mob Psycho 100, and it doesn't have too much to do with that. But if you're a mob character, you're a background character. No one notices you. You are drawn with like just 2 dots for eyes.
Yeah, you're like a shittily drawn background.
Yeah, but you're
You can
there
tell
to,
those characters.
Yeah, and you're there to act as the chorus, like in Greek plays,
Yeah.
to give information about the situation that the characters themselves, because they are modest or situations not arriving.
Yeah.
They,
It's
you
like
have to learn it.
exposition.
Yeah.
It's like exposition via people in the background that you will never see.
It's like,
Yeah.
you see it a lot in anime where it's just like, oh, so-and-so, I heard he's the son of, like, C group, and
Sure.
he makes, like...
It's always C group or
yeah.
S group or some weird shit.
Yeah, it's people like that. And I always find it funny because you see it in every single shoujo manga. And you see it in this, too, where, like, he's got, like, these harem of girls. And you see it in, like the last movie you watched where there's this girl screaming out a window.
My Love Story, sure. And
Yeah.
it's like, and it's funny 'cause when they shoot those kinds of scenes in live action adaptations, you notice that they're screaming from like that far away. They're like, they're right here. They can totally hear you.
Yeah.
It's very awkward.
Yeah.
It's different if it's like we're talking behind someone's back, but it's always like he's walking right, like Max is the guy
like,
walking. Was like, oh, look at that guy. He's got blonde hair. He must have been a Yankee in his past days. I heard he's getting in fights all the time at other schools. Like this is totally shit that it's always
It's
in
like,
every
it's
every
like the
anime
weirdest thing
manga.
where, like, even when we were in China, I've never seen a girl react that way to, like, a good-looking guy. Like, oh, is he a
Yeah.
model? It's
Yeah.
just so
I mean,
bizarre.
I know it's like exaggerated reality. Like, there's a lot of things. I mean, that's what tropes are, just like
Yeah.
condensed versions of it. But still, it's like, I don't understand. Like, there's a lot of things. This is a good example of why stuff in anime doesn't actually work. Like,
Yes.
this is the whole movie of that. Okay, so like the part, and I thought this was also like up the creep factor a lot, is like when Kyouya like grabs that girl's face and is like, oh, you're like annoying basically, but literally just grabs her face.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Whoa.
who does that?
Yeah. Who does that?
Like,
He's
you-
basically like almost hitting a girl, and you're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck is that? Like,
and then
it's
you
so...
really just sort of kind of like
it's too
throws her
much.
face away, and I understand
Yeah.
that she's kind of a bitch. Like, I understand that, but like that's still like.
And they're supposed to be like in school while this is happening.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so, and then everyone's like, oh man, that sucked. Like, no, call the police.
Yeah.
Did
Like,
anyone else notice
what?
that their school was like in the Met or some shit? Like their school was like a
Yes.
museum with like
Okay.
giant glass
Yes.
ceilings and
Like,
Sit
when
in
we
front
were
of it.
watching this, like, that whole, like, glass bridge, I'm like,
Yeah, where
how
the
is
fuck
their
does that
school so big?
Yeah.
Well, he's the prince, obviously, because
He's
they're
the
all
prince of
very
the West Side.
Yeah.
well off people.
And I do think it's funny how, like, she doesn't realize it's him, but I was like, how many fucking classes are there of, like, I feel like there's usually, like, you know, like 5 or 6
Yeah,
different
it's not like he's like
classes
in
of
a
your grade, you know, like,
he's in the same grade as her as well, right?
yeah,
I think-
they're both, like, I think they're both 15.
I don't know. But I could tell, like, okay, so this movie, another
Punch
thing about
that
this
kid
movie,
in the
another reason
face.
why maybe they didn't do fun animations or use like I thought for sure they'd be like cute little like
Yeah.
animated dogs or something to make, because that's the only reason that shit works, that she's a cute dog, is that it's like they draw little
The
puppy ears on her.
Instagram
Yeah,
filter
it's
Yeah.
kind
of
of
her
like,
life.
And they put a little crown on him where he's like,
Yeah,
and
the
your little
main
devil
photo
horns.
where, like, they drew the... And, like, I feel like the main images of, like, that for the poster that they did, where they drew the tail on her and the ears...
That's what I thought it was gonna be like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did that because it referenced the manga, but then
Right.
they don't do any any of that in the movie.
And I think it's because they had like $0 bills to spend on this movie. Okay, let's take a look. They filmed every single fucking scene in one building. Okay, they had you could tell it was all part of the same building. The architecture was exactly the same. All the restaurants, all the cafeteria. It was just like different shots of like different parts of the rooms. And I was like, wait, yo.
Rotoscoping is pretty expensive.
Yeah. They're just like, we don't have a lot of time.
Which, okay, if you're gonna do that, well then there's so many other things you could do. Like, that's not the problem.
Right.
Having zero money is not the problem with this movie.
Yeah, but I'm just, I'm trying to point out one of the many that might have contributed to what's happening.
There have been instances of things like this being done, and it's funny, like, for instance, Nodame Cantabile.
Yeah.
Like,
Cantabile.
there are moments in that where the main character, like, literally slaps her, and, like, there's spit goes flying out of her.
But it's really funny.
But they make it funny, and I really thought that this was going to be like that, and they just completely didn't. So then it made it seem too real and abusive, and I was very like, what the hell is happening?
Yeah, Nadame is a really good example of how to do live action, like, physical humor / abuse, but like have it be funny because she goes, "Wachoo!" and then her face gets really big, and they do like weird like stretch animations with her, and it's really cute, but this is like bizarre.
No, this is just basically like, oh, this is what it would actually be like if real people tried to reenact.
Was the anime cute? I didn't see it.
The anime was pretty funny. Like, I think it's just because there's a lot more that you can do with like traditional like faces being kind of chibi, and like I think the bodily comedic humor is better. This movie it didn't do it for me.
Well, I think there was also this problem with like, tone. I'm pretty big about tone. Tone is very important. If you watch something, you can tell from its color, you can tell from its music, you can tell by like, even composition. And this one, everything felt very like yellow. Like weirdly, like everything was just very like drab and not very colorful. It was all
just the burn you're watching.
Maybe that was the version I was watching because I was like pretty low res, but like even still.
No, I know what you're talking about. Everything looked like it was on an Instagram filter.
Yes.
Like every shot in this looked like it belonged on Instagram.
Which I guess, even with all the English music and all that, like they're trying to make this very like American feeling.
It would kind of reminded me of like a really shitty version of like 500 Days of Summer.
Which I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, but it's shit like that, you know, like it didn't work.
It just was like the most typical. Like, there's nothing exciting about this movie. I think that's also the problem. There's no real problems in this. The only problem was like, some dude was a dick and doesn't like me, and all of her problems.
That was a big conflict of the movie.
And all that seems like nothing. Like, that is just like a normal thing. And then of course, like, there's other people that are interested in her, so she could always be happy with them. But of course not, because that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, even though
I have tunnel vision. That'll make me happy.
Yeah.
That like hits on something else I want to talk about. Like the whole tsundere character. Like, I play a lot of dating sims. That's no secret. But it's always this like male character of like, I'm gonna be so mean to you, but on the inside, I really love you and I'm nice.
But I don't understand that either. It's like, how the hell do you know he loves you? Why can't he just be nice and love you as well?
Max is so angry at this movie.
Express your anger, Max.
Is it? I mean, just like I don't mind the tsundere trope. I don't mind it. It just. Like, I don't know what triggers me about this particular movie.
Lauren Markland on chat says, is this the movie equivalent of weebs pulling each other around on leashes at conventions?
No, it's definitely no, because that is actually interesting.
That seems consensual.
Yeah. that actually, at least you're like, oh wow, that's weird, but it like catches your interest, and this is just like.
I think I think I'm gonna have to say yes because it's very cringeworthy. Both. That at conventions and this movie was very cringeworthy.
But once again, at least that's cringeworthy and interesting as opposed to this, where it was just cringeworthy and boring.
And again, with the tsundere thing, like the draw of it is that, I think all women at one point have had the kind of dream of fixing a man, or like he's like this, but on the inside he's really like a softie, and he'll open up just for me.
Yeah.
And
or he'll just stay abusive.
But in this particular film, with the pacing it had and with the plot it covers, there's very, very tiny glimpses of him being a nice guy. At all. It's like this really, really nice girl is going really out of her way to win his heart and to make friends and stuff, and just kind of try to be a good person. And he's doing zero effort at all times. He's just waiting for her to show up at his house or waiting for her to show up, whatever place.
Yeah.
And then when he has the realization that, oh, I do like her, it's because like 70,000 people pushed him to realize it. And it was like, it wasn't even his own realization.
I mean,
it wasn't really
you know that he had
cathartic.
like his own doubts about it. Like he was like, oh yeah, oh, I'm so frustrated and all that.
But you didn't feel for him.
didn't feel for him.
Yeah, you didn't like want him to
because
win.
there was not even one thing that he actually did good. I mean, besides him playing with dogs, like that was like the only like nice thing he's ever done. Except okay, so he gets like a souvenir and he pretends and he goes on a date. Like, but even during the date, he doesn't do anything like interesting or nice. He doesn't help anybody out. Like this movie, like just takes everything by the literal just like surface and just plops it on into places. Like even the rival love interest, the dude with the glasses.
Yeah.
Who was great. I was like, date this guy. He's really nice.
Yeah, this guy is just like, I totally understand, like I just want you to be happy. Like,
I don't care if my feelings are hurt. Go be happy.
And you see this
I'll
guy,
lie for you.
and he's just been nice. He's been nice and like a pretty cool dude, and he's like obviously better looking than like everyone there. Like
he takes off his glasses.
Yeah, he's literally like prettier than like most of the girls in this movie. Like, and you're like, he has basically everything. That's when it gets really unrealistic, because then you're like, there's no way this would ever happen. You know, there's just too much.
Young love, it's stupid.
I think like you say, like bringing back like Kamio-kun, the other blonde tall guy. Like, I think the thing that they cut out of this movie that actually happened in the anime is that like Kamio-kun is trying to encourage Kyouya to go out with him. Like the scene in the karaoke doesn't happen in the manga, but he basically is like, look at me, I've got all these girls and they always want to hang out with me. And Kyouya is basically like, they kind of touch on it in the movie, but he's basically like, it doesn't matter how many like girls you get, like trash is just trash, and like I have this one girl who actually likes me and I'm interested in her, so she's worth something to me. And he actually like has this kind of like realization with Kamiya, and then Kamiya's like, well, we should be together. Like, you're wasting your time on this plain girl. And he's like, no, I want to be around this girl. I like her. She entertains me.
Which is fine. Which is fine. But at the same time, like, all of that loses any sort of credence. When you're like, all those other girls are just trash. Yeah. Like, that's, you can't start off like this really like dramatic monologue with like, these bitches are not, these bitches be hoes, but I love this one, this my main hoe. Like, that shit does not work.
The funny thing is too, because like in the manga, like at some point Kamiya is like, well, it's fine, you can just have your plain girl and I'll have my like tons of ladies. And so he tries to call these girls and they're like, no, I have a boyfriend now, so I can't hang out with you anymore. Like, I'm serious.
He gets turned down.
He gets turned down by all of these girls because they're like, well, we're only here because it was fun and there's shits and giggles, but now I'm in a real relationship with a guy who cares about me.
And he's alone
and
forever.
Then he kind of realizes that I've been wrong this whole time, and he starts to idolize Kyouya, and I'm like, okay.
But at the same time,
it doesn't read through it at all.
He also doesn't even seem like a character. So like there's nothing about him that I know or care about. He just is
in the live action movie. We're talking about Orphans, specifically the anime.
Right. Yeah. But in the live action, like he just kind of appears and kind of like instigates.
And looks kind of the same as Kyouya.
He has like is just like, hey, I'm a plot device as a human person, and it's just. Like, even him, I would have just been way more interested if he was just like, I'm like secretly in love with Kyouya, and like, that would have made this, there's just nothing about this movie that's interesting. No, there's just nothing that like, it's
actually,
not even...
there's one thing. And
those
that
dogs are cute.
Oh, they're like, in there for like a minute. The dog's really cute. The one interesting thing is that as we've been watching more and more live action movies or movies in general, anime, you notice that like some place in Japan is like some board of tourism is sponsoring small parts of the movie.
Yeah, you can tell.
And the interesting part was when they go to Kobe for their school trip, and they're in the fucking earthquake. There's a Great Hanshin earthquake of '96, I think it was. And they go in the museum for it. They have this old, like they're kind of panning around the museum, and then the voiceover comes of this old woman who's clearly reading newspaper, talking about how like I experienced the earthquake, and there was our building was gone, and there were dead bodies inside, and we slept in a car, and it's like totally like as like high school kids are like walking around going like, oh, like looking at the photos, and it's
like,
so quick.
That was so jarring.
Yeah, and you're just like, is there nothing fun about this movie? Is it always gonna just be despair?
But so the thing is, I love that because I was very like, that was the only part of the movie I really paid attention to. Honestly, I was like, oh, that is the real thing that happened. And then and I've never seen inside the movie or the museum. It was very interesting. And they they're very specific to shoot in like famous places in Kobe. So they do the mini Chinatown that's in there, which I have to do. It's very cute. But it seems like very like, I was trying to look at the credits, but I didn't see anything where it says like sponsored by
The
Kobe
Kobe
Tourism Organization, because I like that at least it was very dry, but it was nice that they had like their final thing in the the Chinese Plaza was kind of cute. I mean, they thought they at least tried a little bit.
She was digging through the trash.
Yeah.
That is how they end that scene.
I know, that was the worst shit ever.
And then he goes over and he like forcibly kisses her while she's crying. and then it's like, I love you and everything is okay.
Yeah.
Where actually nothing is okay.
And she immediately kicks back and it's like, okay, and they just go, and then she's like really, really happy and joking with me. Immediately, there's no transition.
There's no transition. I think the part that I hate about that the most is that like in the manga, that happens at a summer festival, fireworks festival. And she's digging through her trash because she's lost something, and like there's these dudes that come over and be like, oh, look at that girl, she's digging the trash, and then Kyouya comes and sees her and he helps dig through the trash with her. And like you completely lose it in this because he's just such a dick to her.
He just shows up and is like,
every single moment where they could have made him like a likable person, they're like, nah. Cut that onto the cutting floor.
I love that the people, they had the mob characters walking by being like, oh, is that girl digging through the trash? How dirty.
Yeah.
Like,
and
who are you people?
Exactly. And it's just like, dude, is everyone in Japan like a dick? Like, everyone's fucking mean.
So let's get into that. Like, the kind of theme that I see all the time in high school, kind of even slice of life, is this fitting in. Like, it's so obsessively. Like, the whole reason for her lying about her boyfriend is because she wants to fit into this group of girls so badly that she's lying about like having sex with her boyfriend.
But like not just normal like kinky shit.
Yeah.
Like getting tied up and stuff, and you're like, why would you be talking?
Is it
about
ever
that?
addressed in the anime or manga version if
Is
those
it, like,
other girls are
stuff that
also lying?
15-year-olds
Because stuff they're saying is really crazy.
So in the manga, she only has two friends. It's only like the girl with the short hair and then the one with the long hair. And they basically both have boyfriends. Who one of them is her boyfriend is at another school, and then the second one, her
Like
boyfriend is older.
Right? But they're real people though.
They're real people.
For some reason, it just seems so unbelievable that even in a manga where things just happen.
The thing that they completely cut out is that Erika's the kind of person that like she just gets carried away and she has to lie to kick it. Like she has to. And so her friend's son actually goes to the same school and is in a different class. The reason why she's lying is because she doesn't want to be left out in the beginning, so she just kind of like let herself go with the flow. And I think like this is something that I think I don't understand as a foreigner, where like the first day if you don't get along you can't make friends later apparently. Like this is always the thing I see.
Yeah.
Because like she definitely does this, and she does this again. So every time like her friends bring up again like, oh, I'm on summer or winter vacation with my boyfriend, she's like, oh, I have to pretend to fit in, to like do these things. And I'm like, but why?
Yeah, like it's a compulsive. So like culturally there is a very strong in-group out-group mentality in Japan. Like again, it varies person by person, but it's very like if you're not in your group, then you're the weird pariah and you can't like there's no or even sometimes it's not even like that. Sometimes it's just like we've all been friends for a long time and you can start being our friend too, but you'll never be on the same level as us. Like we'll always kind of leave you out and you won't really understand what we're talking about, so we're not gonna really bother with you. It happens a lot and it's in like very weird ways. It's hard to describe because like perfectly normal people that you'll meet, and this is just like personal stuff that happened to me when I was living there. You would just get to know people really well and like think you're all like, yeah, we're all like equal friends, like we're really cool, and then one day they just stop talking to you and like you don't know what the fuck happened. And this is like a story that I've heard repeated over, it's I'm weird, it's fine, but like over and over again with all my other foreign friends are like, I didn't get it, like we seem like we're hanging out almost every day, but then all of a sudden they just stopped talking to me because I did something and no one would tell me what it was and I didn't know because it's just like culturally we don't understand some of the stuff that we do is like wrong or whatever. So it's just like it's like with not even a fight, it's just like something. You can never really fit in. Like you pushed your boundaries too much. You tried too hard to fit in. You tried to like go on too many I guess
I get that because even America we kind of do that. I mean, cliques are an inevitable thing. I feel like, and even
it's just quite strong. It's just quite strong because they do build it into you, like societally. Even in school and stuff.
Well,
when they
that's
do projects.
terrible.
But they have a more communal way of living, so it's like
True.
Because I do always find that like
their rate of crime is a lot lower than America's. Let's just throw that out there.
Because I find that funny because it's not like it's kind of like you go to work or whatever, you start a new job and like everybody's kind of broken off. And it's harder to break in, but I feel like as a Westerner, like even like me, like because I'm pretty introverted at like business stuff, and like I'll go in and it'll be awkward for me for like a couple weeks, but like eventually that barrier's broken, and I feel like I just have no understanding of what it's like for Japanese people because this seems to be just a recurring problem.
I feel like especially in all this anime or like anytime a school is involved, it's like you either fit in or you're bullied. That's the
It's
crazy
so
thing.
extreme.
It's just like there's never like a dude where you're just like chills. Like I have like 1 or 2 friends and we're totally good and everyone is totally normal with each other.
I think
and
that doesn't a story make.
Sure, I understand that it's like it's not dramatic if that doesn't happen, but still it's like you just kind of like deconstruct like it can't possibly be like that all the time, right? But it very much feels like if we're trying to even like if we take it from every single like high school drama that I've ever seen or like shoujo manga that I've ever read, it's always like you either fit in or you're popular or you are bullied to shit by everybody. And I actually know that there was like an epidemic. I think it's still pretty bad of online bullying now still. Yeah. So
yeah, what do you think I do in my free time? Just cyberbully kids.
Wow.
Well, that's quite a confession. We have it all on tape.
I'm just kidding.
Be careful, Japan. So I don't know. It's just I think it's just there's something maybe in a weird way. This movie was just realistic enough to where I felt very uncomfortable because I just saw this stuff actually happening to real girls and like, I mean, this isn't like a new story at all. Like, sure, there's like fantastical elements about it, but like there are dudes that like treat women like shit all the time, and like they just go back to them, and it's just like sure you're sugarcoating it in this sort of like shoujo manga way. But like, if you're not gonna take that extra step of like being like, hey, we need to make this funny, otherwise it's gonna be real weird. Like they did not put any effort into it at all, and that
it's fine that he's basically abusive.
Yeah, unforgivable.
Because at a certain point, like I was watching, I was like, man, is this just like an accepted thing, like for guys to be that way and girls to kind of just be weak and like be pushed around by like these dudes? Because I mean, you see it everywhere. Like, oh, some girl is getting molested on the train, and this guy came and saved her. She can't do anything about it herself. Like, it's just, for me, it was this like divorce of like, okay, I don't really understand why the girls are consistently portrayed like this, even in shoujo manga. Like, they're consistently portrayed as like weak.
I mean, sometimes there's like you get the 1 or 2 characters.
Yeah.
Like some of my favorite like manga that it's probably like more shonen, I guess, but it's still about romance and kind of has like the shoujo tropes, are like Yankee girls, where they're Yankee girls and they're just like totally hot-headed and they're very like assertive and usually the dude is like more the passive character. I feel like those stories are like way more interesting, than just the helpless.
But we
like,
also have to remember, like, and this is not just like in my head thing, but like Japan in terms of like women's rights and equality in the workplace is like 20 to 30 years behind us. Like it's not the same at all, and it's fucked up. Like it's girls can't get certain kinds of jobs. There's a lot of there's just a lot of like molestation and stuff like in the workplace. There's a lot of problems that they don't talk about because the society itself doesn't like to talk about problems and be problematic. So it's like these problems are always kind of getting hidden. I think and it's like Japan, like it's like the solution is just to be the perfect girl, which is meek and demure and cute. And to be cute and agreeable is much more a popular thing to do in Japan than to be outspoken and brazen and have opinions and be annoying. So,
But I mean, if we're going to talk about an interesting story, I truly believe that trope is just kind of a dead one. I mean, except for like My Love Story. Well, even My Love Story, that was she was still very
she was very meek.
assertive. She's meek, but like at the same time, she's very much like, hey, I'm not gonna give up. And like to me, that seemed like a much better love story than like don't do anything and just pretend until it happens.
Don't give up. Just quietly sit in the corner and stare at him.
Until something magically appears, or when he feels that the relationship should be a relationship, and it's just sort of like. I don't know. Maybe it's just sort of the idea that like.
Well, I'm not saying it's okay, but like I'm just saying that's why it's so prevalent.
No. And maybe that's also a reason because it's like I know that is even when you actually watch a lot of anime and like start getting into culture, you start seeing all the kind of like not great things about that culture as well. And so maybe this was just one of those things where it's like, oh, this movie is just kind of like almost too real. Like it's this is like kind of like. could happen, and maybe that's just, you know, it's just the sad realization, and also the fact that there just is a single strand of happiness in this movie at all.
It's true.
So that's
Yeah. Her friend was pretty sweet.
Which
Her
one?
friend
Everyone's-
San.
Yeah, all the friends were great. Like
The sister was great.
Even Kyouya's friend was great. Like everyone was a more interesting character than the
The main
two main
character?
characters.
Yeah. I think
like it makes no sense to me.
I think that's funny because like San, like in the movie, they kind of regulated her to kind of just like side character role, but like because she goes to the same school and is just in a different class, she has a more active role in the anime and the manga, and I think she kind of portrays what I think a different character of like what you don't usually see in shoujo manga. Like she doesn't care about love, she doesn't care about getting a boyfriend. She's just kind of like
she has only good advice to give her friend.
she gives good advice, and she's like, she kind of tells Erika like, this is only gonna end in regret, but she's like, but I'll help you anyway. I feel like those are the kind of characters that I rarely see in shoujo manga, and like for some reason she kind of got pushed off the side. I didn't really understand why. Same thing with Takeru, like the boy who worked in the
his
restaurant.
uncle's restaurant where you never saw the uncle,
ever.
Well, whatever.
Just some 16-year-old running a restaurant.
yeah.
Not a big deal. Don't worry about it.
I mean,
no one goes in there anyway.
Even him, like even he was a more interesting character. Like I thought, like maybe he would be a part of it. Like there's even if it didn't.
Part of the love triangle or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like even if it didn't,
there wasn't
like
even a love
happen
triangle.
in
That
the
sucks.
manga. It's ridiculous.
It seemed like nothing really happened.
Yeah. It's like there was little pieces of things that could happen that could have been interesting, and then they're just like, but we don't have time, or we don't have the money. I don't know what it was. It was just like
I mentioned, it goes in like several arcs. I felt like the end of one arc was she takes care of him. They spend a lot of time on this actually. He gets sick, and so she goes to his apartment and it's like, oh, I heard you don't have your parents around, so I'm gonna take care of you. She makes porridge, leaves it for him, and leaves. And when she's leaving, she's like really happy, and I don't think she knows for sure that she loves him yet.
Yeah.
But she's like singing to herself, and it's like real long. Like it's a very long shot of her just walking in the street, humming and singing, and eventually getting like happier and happier. And then it pans back to him, kind of like it feels like he has a realization because he sees a note that says, "Here's your porridge. If you want it, have it. Don't worry about it if you don't want it." And I think you kind of see his heart softening there for a minute, and then it just goes right back to the square one after that. Like nothing happens.
Yeah.
Like it reaches this like really nice point, and then they just like forget it happens, and they go back to like abusing each other.
And I also just feel, and the weird thing is, it's like they didn't really have a good reason for any of that stuff to happen. Like, why does she want to be in love so much, and why the hell is he such an asshole? Like, I understand
they
that
never
they're
get back to
divorced.
that.
Yeah, I understand they're divorced, but like that's still no reason to be like that big of a dick. Or you don't ever see him like. You know, there's never mention of him like ever falling in love once, and then just his heart being broken. For some, you know, like there's no backstory to him at all, and so all you know is that he's kind of a dick, and he does dick things, and even towards the end, even when he's nice, he's still a dick, and then so this whole movie just seems like, oh, this is predicated on the fact that this is a fucking monster of a child.
Because I think the only thing that they really touch on is like when he says like, oh, I had a dog but it died, so I don't want to go through that again. I think it's supposed to show you that he doesn't deal like with things that are out of his control very well, and because his parents are divorced and he's always by himself, he's just kind of steeling himself up against the world. But it does not come across.
No, I mean I feel like even that explanation is you very much reaching for it. Yeah, reaching real hard, cause wow, this is just
this movie.
This is like this is one of those movies, unfortunately, that if my love story was the shoujo equivalent of someone that really cared about the material and really cared about like what they were working on, like that definitely shows. This is the complete opposite. This is definitely one of those things that were popular and was like, we should just make a movie on it because it will make some money. Let's spend no money on it so we can make it. And then once we do make it, let's forget that it ever existed.
Yeah, it's true. I felt like this movie was like the Attack on Titan live action of shoujo manga.
Well, even at least
strong words.
Yeah, I mean, at least with the Attack on Titan thing, like they tried to do stuff.
They tried so hard,
They tried,
but the wrong way.
Sure, they didn't succeed.
Yeah, their
but
love was
A+ for
misplaced.
effort. This one is soulless as hell. Like it's atrociously neglected.
Wow.
So I'm not even gonna get into like favorite scenes
There's
because
no.
I don't
How
think.
about the scenes we hated
Yeah,
the most?
I was gonna say that. Like, let's go with the scenes we absolutely hated the most. Michelle.
So negative. There's so many. I think, like, I can't. It's like, oh god, it's so hard. So like, I think they tried to. There's a very short scene where they tried to redeem her shitty friends, who are like. So she on the getting off the bus to Kobe on their school trip, Erika comes out to them and says, "I lied. I was never going out with him." There's like 4 of them just staring her down, being like, even though she stopped them to be honest with them, she looks at them and goes, or they look at her and go, "You heard." They all like mentally, they've all psychically agree without saying anything. Yeah. Like, you've hurt all of us very deeply. Come on, let's go, guys. I'm like, that's it. And I'm like, okay, you guys suck. But then they try to redeem them very quickly at the very end when, what's this guy named? Kyouya is in the hotel lobby and he's like, where is she? Where's Erika? Then he like runs off to go see her. And then the leader of the pack of assholes says, that Black Prince. go get out. Like, and they're like smiling, like they're trying to show that they're rooting for her and him to get together again or whatever.
But then it comes like right after like the whole, because they're using line messenger and like it's just them like, "You're a liar, you're disgusting," like all of these mean ass like messages to her.
Yeah, and also did they that whole part where she was like, "Oh, and you've really hurt us," like that part was just ridiculous because like, do you not remember that bathroom part where you were just talking mad shit about her? Like, she was there. She heard you. Like, she had no reason to feel bad about anything.
And they gloss over the cyberbullying. Like, that just, like, it just happens and she just turns off her phone and you don't talk about it again. But I'm like, that was pretty crazy.
It was really cruel.
Was that, like, her whole school, like, they found out?
Basically,
and then,
it was because it was those girls. She was getting bullied by those other, like, the other girls
friends,
because apparently they can't. It's like their idol and you shouldn't touch him or whatever. Some weird, creepy cult shit that girls do.
Yeah, like, you know what? To be honest, that's another thing that I'm like, why does that happen in anime? Like, it's like, he's the prince and he's everybody's idol, so nobody can touch him.
I think it's just, they just need, like, a device in which to, like,
the girl gets confronted.
Exactly. Or there's some sort of, like, pressure or there's something that stresses her out to, like, bring more drama. I don't know, it's a weird trope. That's
and then she didn't even fight her own battle because Kyouya had to come in there and like tell him off her. Or
which was a very convenient trap apparently. Like I didn't even know that was. And then number 2, like that's. Oh man, this movie.
All right.
Max, what's your least favorite scene?
I'm gonna have an aneurysm. This movie's so bad. My least favorite scene is anytime they talked. Anytime there was specifically, anytime there was like this moment between them, like just like trying to have like a heart-to-heart, it felt not only totally awkward, but also like they didn't have feelings. Like it was robots wearing human skin trying to emulate things like love. Like it's, it's maybe, I don't know, maybe there's some drama. Like maybe they didn't actually like each other or something. Because no matter what, I could never feel like this chick actually liked him that much, or that he liked her in any way. Also, the main actor he's just terrible. Like as a character.
Good luck in JoJo.
I know. I'm gonna be real. Every time this like every movie that I have seen this guy in, he plays the same exact role.
Look, Elle was great. Elle was fine because he was emotionless. He didn't have to like emote or anything. He could just be cold and callous. And this dude was supposed to be super like charming and like or cool or there's nothing that he doesn't feel like he was either even cool or a badass or any of that or a prince. Nothing. He was just some guy. Some asshole guy that if you like saw at a bar, you'd want to punch in the face. Like that's
feelings.
Max has feelings.
My feelings about this movie are deeper than the ocean.
I think that like this whole movie, like as a person who liked the manga, like this movie was such a huge disappointment. When the trailer came out, based on that trailer, I was like, "Ooh, I want to watch this." And then I watched it, I was like, "Wow, I am so sorry, guys."
Yeah.
All right. So I guess it's to the lion's den, guys.
Our lion's den.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Oh no! Can I wish my hand could go into hell because that was just.
This movie was
bad.
So even if you're a fan of this series, skip the movie. It's so bad.
It's kind of refreshing that we actually haven't had like a super bad movie in a long
time.
Yeah, because usually we watch stuff that like we're for the most part like we're kind of interested in, and this movie had basically nothing to be interested in.
Yeah, even somebody like me who liked the series couldn't hold on. I was literally like, oh, is it over yet? Like, oh man.
It was so long.
It's a 2-hour movie.
It was 2 goddamn hours.
It was so bad.
Jesus.
Yeah. But hopefully next week, Max will be picking.
What are we doing?
We're going to watch Your Name.
Your name.
How?
Your name.
How are we gonna watch
because we
it?
can find it on the internet.
I couldn't. Okay,
Oh,
it just
there's
came
a
out in
way.
theaters.
It came out in
Japan.
theaters. It's very highly acclaimed. It's
Cool.
beat a lot of the awards that Studio Ghibli with Spirited Away has created.
Yeah,
Oh.
it sold more. Its box office doing better than like Titanic did and
Yeah.
Avatar in Japan, and it's like that's insane. Like it's beating regular ass Hollywood movies.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
apparently, I believe it's Shinkai Makoto. I can't remember. But he has done a bunch of things. You know him
Cool.
from 5 centimeters a second.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
Your Voice in the Distant Stars. So his pedigree is top notch.
So this should be not as bad as this one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, you can find me everywhere online at UNinja.
You can find me on all the social media at Maxalts.
Y'all can find me at I am Triple Bunny.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.
See you next week.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network. The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.